Hey guys, I want to talk to you guys about something. It is about peace. Um, a lot of us, especially Christians, I think we have used this piece of a thing in a very common way. I don't know, or we have used this in a place where we are not supposed to use it. I usually hear people talk about whenever I'm with this guy, I have this peace on the inside, and I felt that the Lord was leading me to get married to him. Or whenever I am, when I got this job, I had peace on the inside, and I felt the Lord was asking me to take up the job. Or whenever I am with this person, I had peace on the inside. Like, the way we use peace as a form of like God is actually the one leading us to do that thing. Now, before I give my point, I am not saying that God cannot speak to you through peace, like giving you the peace about something. But I've seen people that said I had peace with him and I felt the Lord was leading me to get married to him. And at the end of the day, either the marriage crashes or something happens. And I'm not trying to like shade them, but I am trying to just say that I think we are not actually doing the job. Now, this is exceptions to those that have history with the Lord, that you already know how God speaks to you. You already know the voice of God in your life, like in your journey with God. You know how God speaks to you. You know the pattern, you know the procedure. And also, God is not limited to using only dreams, to using only visions, to using only revelation to speak to you, or the still voice inside. God can speak to us in different dimensions. But my issue with this piece of a thing is that I think it has made us Christians a little bit lazy. Because I feel that if you have a decision to make, you should actually take time to seek the face of the Lord about it, and not just rely on your peace. Because your and it's really funny, and at the same time dangerous, because at this point in my life I'm really scared about doing anything outside the plans of God for my life. I usually say to God when I'm praying, like, I don't want to do anything outside of your will. I don't want to take up this job knowing that you're not there. It's a scary part for me to follow. I don't know if anybody has that kind of mindset that I do, but anything that God doesn't want for me, anything that he doesn't want me to have, I don't want to have it. If he did not write this thing concerning me, I don't want to walk in that path. So most times when I do things, I just take time to seek the face of the Lord and to just ask him questions like, what should I do? There's a book I read, A Woman After God's Own Heart. She also mentioned something like that in that book, talking about that you should take time to, when you want to make decisions, you should just talk to the Lord and get answers from him. And if you don't get an answer, you better don't do it. And that actually stood out for me, because most times when we seek the face of the Lord and we don't even get a response as maybe immediately as we want it, maybe we have like 24 hours to make that decision, and we took our time to pray, or even pray in a very shallow way, and we don't get answers, we end up going to do it. You don't have to even do anything, and not just, since you've not heard from God, like, go ahead or don't do it. Just don't do it. You're better off safe in that angle than when you go ahead to do it, because God might also be testing your patient level with him. You understand? So back to the piece of a matter. I think that we have used that piece to become lazy. For me, except like I said earlier on, if you have this pattern that God speaks to you, maybe that is actually the pattern, the history. You have history with God regarding that piece of a thing. You understand? Of course. But for us, let me say, for new believers, and you're still trying to learn to hear the voice of the Lord, and you're still trying to learn to walk with the Lord, I don't think you should rely on the peace, because I know that in this life we have two peace. If you don't know, yeah, the peace of the Lord and the peace the word will give you is in John 14 verse 27. I'll read it for you. John 14 verse 27 said, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. So the word gives peace, but you should know the word's peace. Let me even read it in TPT. That's the Passion Translation. I leave the gift of peace with you, my peace, not the kind of fragile peace the world gives. So when you look at this text, this John 14 verse 27, you understand that there are two P's. And let me just use this scenario of a man trying to get married to a girl. A man walks up to you that he wants to marry you, or a guy is approaching you and all that, and you look at him physically, he's the type of person you want. He's tall, dark, like most girls will always want dark, tall, dark, and handsome and all that. I don't know why we like dark guys, but I think I'm an exception. I don't really like dark guys. But that's, by the way, that's like, I digressed. So you have these physical qualities that you want in your man, and when you not get close to know him, he's caring, he's nice, like he's even a Christian, a tongue talking Christian and all that, and you're like, this is the kind of guy I want to have. And of course, you're a human being. When you're with him, you will have peace because he's a nice person. He's treating you well at that moment. So if you're sitting with this person, or if you're with that person, or when you think about this person, you will have peace. As flesh that we are, you're a human being. He's treating you well. He is nice. He knows your heart desire, like what you want before you even say it out. He will do it for you. He's doing all the things for you. You will have peace. You're a human being. But your peace is not enough to decide or to conclude that God wants you to settle down with him. Excuse me. You should still take out time to pray. You should still take out time to decongest yourself of all the emotions and just seek the face of the Lord. Like, God, I like this person genuinely, but what are you saying? If he is not your will for me, I don't want him. No matter how good he might be treating me, no matter how nice he is. I'm using this marriage of a thing, but it's a vast thing. Like in any decision what I want to take. Now, that peace that you felt is the worldly peace. You might get into the man's house as a wife, and you're now seeing the other side of it. And that doesn't make the man a bad person, but just that he is not the right person for you. You didn't take time to seek the face of the Lord. So I think that this piece of a thing, we are using it to cover up our laziness. Yeah, I've done that. Instead of us taking 1 day, 2, 3 days to sit down with God, to pray about it, to ask God, this is nice, I actually like this. What are you saying about these things? Should I go for it or should I not go for it? Should I take up this job or should I not take up this job? But due to I need money, I am desperately in need of money, and the paycheck is good and is a good company, so maybe somewhere that you have been eyeing for a long time, and you have this peace on the inside. So I think that we Christians, we use this peace. For me, especially if you're still growing, if you're still a baby Christian, and if you're still trying to hear or know the voice of the Lord, know how God speaks to you, using the peace one is, for me, is a dangerous one. Is using the peace context will harm your faith, and it will make you, it will confuse you. You will not actually know how God speaks to you, because you can't even differentiate between the two, God's peace and the worldly peace, or your fleshly peace, or the lustful peace. Because we have our desires, we know what we want, and the devil knows what we want. So most times he gives us the counterfeit to confuse us. So if you don't take time to pray about it, if you don't take time to seek God's face concerning it, you will think it's the Lord that sent it to you, because you prayed about what you wanted, and the devil gave it to you, and you took the opportunity. So at the end, you will not know that just like Apostle Selman will say, not all open doors are for you. Not all open doors are from the Lord. Prison has a door. You will know that you're walking into a prison, but in a very colorful way. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that it's a trap set for you, but on the outside, it looks so nice. It looks so attractive. It looks so good. People will even be envying you, like, wow, how did you get this? Like, you're so lucky, you're so this. Not knowing that they are clapping you into a pit. So I think that this piece of a thing, that you shouldn't actually rely so much on it. Like I said earlier, except you have a history with God, and you are so rooted in God that you can discern when that peace is from him and when the peace is from your flesh. So for now, I just want you guys to just concentrate on staying in God's presence. Just pray about it. there was a prayer I prayed to God. God didn't answer me. Like, I didn't get an answer from him, and I never took a step concerning that thing, because I needed him to okay it so that I can start working towards it. He never said anything. I prayed for it for some months. He didn't say anything. I gave up. I stopped praying about it. 1 year later, God confirmed it, and that was when I started taking step about that thing. I am that patient by God's grace. God gave me that patience. God has actually helped me because of my past experiences, that I would dabble into things that he didn't approve, and at the end of it, I'll be frustrated out. So I don't want, and I hate not winning. I hate losing. So the frustration made me, I will just stay there and wait for God. If you need to take me 1 year to hear from me, I want you guys to just take time to always pray about things. And at the end of it, submit it to God. Don't just tell him what you want. Tell him that it is not my will. Let your will be done in my life, because your will might not even be, is not the best. Your will can never be the best for you. But God's will always be the best for you. God's plans will always be the best for you. And once he sees that you're surrendered to him, that you're submitting everything to him, he will actually open your eyes to see, for you to see his plans concerning you. He will open your eyes for you to see where he is calling you, the area, your assignment on earth, and not just what you want to randomly do. You know, it makes us to just excuse me, it makes us to just makes us to do a lot of things. We just do try and error until we get it right. But it will help you to organize yourself to know this is the area God has called me, and I'll have to work in it. So I hope this video helps someone, or 1 person, 2 persons, 10 persons, whoever that is watching it. And I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Rich. Yeah, please sorry about the whole chaos, distractions around. My children are awake, so I just needed to pass this message across to you guys, and also share the video. It might be helpful to someone that you know. You never can tell. And I pray that God gives you that discerning spirit. God gives you the strength, the patience to sit and wait on him, to pray, and not just to conclude on peace. It will save you a lot of trauma. It will save you a lot of things. I pray that God will help you as you follow him, that you follow him with patience and with all your heart. In Jesus' name, amen. Bye, guys.